My wife cried at our wedding. Happy tears, I thought. I was wrong. I found out 31 years later what she was actually crying about. And when I did, every single memory I had rearranged itself into something I didn't recognize. My name is Thomas. I'm 58 years old, and 3 months ago I found out that the woman I built my life with had been carrying a secret since before we ever met. This is going to take a while to tell, because it took 31 years to happen. I met Catherine in 1991. She walked into the accounting firm where I worked, dropped off some paperwork, smiled at the receptionist, and I asked her to dinner 3 days later. We dated for 2 years, married in 1993, had our son Nathan in 1997, our daughter Emma in 2000, 31 years. I want you to hold that number. 31 years of dinners, arguments, hospital waiting rooms, birthday candles, Sunday mornings. 31 years of thinking I knew exactly who I had married. I was wrong about almost everything. The first crack appeared 3 months ago. Nathan called me on a Wednesday evening. He said, "Dad, I need to tell you something. Sit down first." I sat down. What he told me took 20 minutes. I wish that was the end of it. 6 weeks earlier, Nathan had attended a conference in Chicago. He ended up at dinner next to a man named Robert Hale. At some point, Robert asked Nathan his last name. Nathan told him. Robert went very quiet. Then he said, "Is your mother's name Catherine?" Nathan said yes. Robert picked up his drink, finished it, set it down carefully, and said, "I think we need to have a conversation." Robert Hale was 61 years old. He had known Catherine since 1989, before she met me. They had dated for almost a year. It ended. He never knew why. Then he told Nathan the part that changed everything. In 1994, 1 year after Catherine and I got married, Robert received a letter. No return address. Typed 2 paragraphs. The letter said Catherine had been pregnant when she left him in 1990. That she had not told him. That she had ended the pregnancy. That she had married someone else. That the someone else didn't know any of this. Robert had kept that letter for 27 years. He showed Nathan a photograph of it on his phone. Nathan read it, and then Nathan called me. That wasn't the worst part. The worst part started forming in my head the moment Nathan stopped talking. Because I was doing math I had never done before. Nathan was born in 1997. We had tried for children for 2 years before that. I remembered those years. The appointments, the tests, the hope, cycling over and over. And then Catherine told me she was pregnant. I remembered that moment exactly, the kitchen, the test in her hand, her crying. Happy tears, I thought. Nathan was born 7 months later. Premature, the doctor said. I had never questioned that, not once in 31 years. But now the numbers weren't adding up the way I needed them to. I didn't confront Catherine that night. I made 2 calls. One to a lawyer, one to someone who finds the truth. "Give me 3 weeks, the investigator said. During those 3 weeks, I went home every evening, sat across from Catherine at dinner, asked about her day, watched her hands when she spoke, watched her eyes. I was looking for 31 years of something I had missed. I didn't sleep. The investigator called on a Thursday. She had found 3 things. First, the letter in 1994 had been sent by Catherine's college roommate, a woman named Patricia. She had known about the pregnancy. She believed Robert deserved to. No, she sent it anonymously because she was afraid of Catherine. Second, medical records confirmed Catherine had received treatment at a clinic in 1990, consistent with what the letter described. Third, and this one I hadn't asked for, in 1995, Catherine had hired her own private investigator to find Robert Hale. She found him. Confirmed he had received the letter. Confirmed he had tried to locate her, and then stopped. Catherine had known for 28 years that Robert knew. 28 years. Not one word. I called Patricia. She answered on the third ring. When I said my name, there was a long silence. Then I wondered if this call would ever come. We talked for 2 hours. At the end, she said, "Thomas, I don't know how to say this, so I'm just going to say it." A breath. "Nathan looks exactly like Robert Hale looked at 30. I saw a photo of your son online. I almost fell out of my chair." The room tilted. "The timing," she said quietly. Catherine left Robert in March of 1990. Nathan was born in 1997 and was premature. She stopped. What if he wasn't premature? I need to stop here, because I want to be clear about something. Nathan is my son. Whatever biology says or doesn't say, whatever a test confirms or doesn't confirm. Nathan is my son. That is not something a piece of paper changes. But I needed to know the truth, not to change anything between us. But because I had built 31 years on a foundation I was no longer sure was solid, I needed to know what was actually underneath it. I confronted Catherine on a Saturday evening. I made dinner. We ate. I poured 2 glasses of wine. Then I said, "I need to talk to you about Robert Hale." The glass in her hand stopped moving. Just half a second. But I had been watching her for 3 weeks. I saw it. "Who?" she said. And that single word, that decision to pretend, was the moment I understood the full shape of what I was dealing with. "Catherine." My voice was calm. "I know about 1990. I know about the pregnancy. I know about the letter in 1994. I know you hired someone in 1995 to find him. I know you have known for 28 years that he knew." She set the glass down. Long silence. "How did you find out?" she said finally. "Nathan met Robert at a conference," I said. 6 weeks ago." Something crossed her face I had never seen before. Not guilt exactly. More like the expression of someone who has been waiting for a specific knock on the door for 30 years and has finally heard it. "I was going to tell you," she said. "When?" She didn't answer. "Catherine, is Nathan my biological son?" The longest silence of my life. Then, "I don't know." I don't know. 2 words. 31 years. She said she had always told herself the timing could have worked either way. That she had convinced herself it didn't matter. That I was Nathan's father in every way that counted. "I was scared," she said. "I was 24. I listened to all of it. Then I said, you watch me sit in hospital waiting rooms not knowing. You watch me worry for 2 years about whether something was wrong with me. You watch me fall in love with my son without ever telling me there was something you weren't sure about, for 31 years. "I know," she said. "You knew about the letter. You knew he knew. And you chose every single day for 28 years to say nothing." "I know," she said again. I stood up. "I'm going to a hotel tonight." She didn't ask me to stay. Maybe she knew asking wouldn't help. Maybe she was just tired of performing. I got the test. The results came back 11 days later. I'm not going to tell you what they said, not because I'm hiding it, but because, honestly, it didn't change what I felt. What the results told me wasn't a verdict on Nathan. It was a verdict on 31 years of mornings. Catherine and I are separated now. We speak occasionally, politely, like 2 people who once knew each other. Completely, and are now slowly becoming strangers. Nathan calls me every week. Sometimes we talk for an hour about nothing. Sports, his work, something that made him laugh. He calls me Dad at the end of every single call. He still does. I walk to work now. 20 minutes every morning. I notice things I never noticed. Before, the way the light changes, the sound a city makes at 7 in the morning. I rebuilt a company once. I can rebuild a life. People ask me what the hardest part is. It's not the betrayal. It's not even the specific thing she kept from me. The hardest part is this: 31 years of memories that were completely real to me. Real dinners, real arguments, real moments I would not trade. All of it was real. And somehow also not what I thought it was. Both things are true at the same time. I'm still learning how to hold them both. 31 years, and I'm still learning. I don't know what I would choose if I could go back. The truth, or the peace. I'm not sure those are two different things anymore.